Okay, what if I told you that creativity isn't some kind of magical gift, but it's actually a skill? Something you can train, just like a muscle. Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful framework called the core mindset and a pretty unique game that can help you master it. Let's get into it.
So, right off the bat, let's tackle the big question, the one that kind of hangs over this whole topic. Is creativity something you're just born with? A rare talent that only a few people get? Or is it something else entirely? We all have this picture in our heads, right? The brilliant artist, the lone genius, just waiting for inspiration to strike like lightning. But what if that's not how it really works? We're here to challenge that myth and show you that creativity can be a super practical skill, something anyone can build, one step at a time. I mean, think about it for a second. You wouldn't just wake up one day and expect to run a marathon without any training, right? So why do we think creative breakthroughs should just happen? What if you could actually build up your creative stamina, one mental rep at a time? That's the big idea we're digging into.
Okay, so if creativity is a muscle, what's the workout plan? Well, let me introduce you to a really cool tool designed for exactly that, the SVO memory game. It's a surprisingly simple but powerful way to start making creativity a real habit. At its core, the SVO memory game is just a simple experience you can run right in your browser. But don't let that word game fool you. Its whole purpose is to take the creative process, which often feels so invisible and mysterious, and make it tangible, something you can actually see and understand, all through this cool mix of structure and play. So, how does this thing actually work? It's honestly deceptively simple. You get two grids. One has broad concepts, like earth science or maybe pop culture. The other has these little statements, all in a subject-verb-object format. Your job is to find meaningful connections between them. And that simple act of matching, that's the workout. It forces your brain to build new bridges between totally different fields of knowledge, pushing you way beyond just memorizing facts and into a world of real creative thinking. But here's the thing. The SVO memory game is way more than just a game. It's actually a training tool for building this really powerful mental framework, something called the core mindset. So let's pull back the curtain and see what that's all about. The whole game is built on these four pillars, CORE. First up, C is for cognitive flexibility. Every time you're hunting for a match, you're literally shifting your perspective. Then there's O for originality. The game pushes you to go beyond the obvious connections and find something truly new. R is for resonance, and that's that amazing aha moment when a pairing just clicks and you know it's right. And finally, and this is so important, E is for elaboration. That's where you pause and ask yourself, why? Why does that connection work so well? This entire process is really based on a super powerful idea called combinatory play. Now, that might sound a little academic, but it's really the simple idea that true innovation, well, it comes from connecting old ideas in new ways. I mean, think about the printing press. That was just someone combining the tech from a wine press with the idea of movable type. Boom. That's combinatory play in action. And this game is basically your personal gym for it. Okay, so we've got a game, we've got a mindset. But what's the actual payoff here? How does this playful practice turn into real-world skills that you can actually use in your job or just in your life in general? Let's take a look. The benefits really fall into two big buckets. On one side, you're seriously sharpening your thinking skills, learning to think critically and connect ideas across completely different fields. But on the other side, you're building up your storytelling skills. And that's huge, because when you can see those hidden connections, you get so much better at explaining your ideas, at persuading people, and ultimately at leading with a really clear vision. And that really brings us full circle, back to the main point. This isn't about some one-time creative flash or a sudden bolt of genius. It's all about building a sustainable mental habit. It's about making the act of finding and explaining new connections just a natural, normal part of your everyday routine. This quote just perfectly sums up everything we've been talking about. Experience creativity not as a mysterious talent, but as a trainable habit of mind. It's really a call to action, isn't it? A challenge to shift your whole perspective and see creativity not as something that happens to you, but as something you can actively cultivate day in and day out. So we're going to leave you with this final thought. Once you start to see the world this way, as this giant collection of ideas just waiting to be mixed and matched in new ways, the possibilities are absolutely endless. The only question left is, what new connections will you make?